gentlemen, my first guest tonight is the Emmy and Peabody award-winning anchor of Anderson Cooper 360 on CNN. Please welcome back to The Late Show, Anderson Cooper. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Always good to talk to you about what's going on in the news. You've been covering conflicts your entire career.
Yes.
Last month, your colleague, CNN, Clarissa Ward, came to us via satellite, actually, from northern Iraq. And she said covering the war with Iran feels different. And one of the reasons she said was, because the metric for success is unclear. Yeah. Does this feel different to you?
It does. I mean, I'm not sure what the metric of success is. I mean, people talk about the fog of war. Rarely does that fog emanate from a giant machine at the White House that's like blowing fog out. And the administration has essentially given a whole bunch of different explanations for why the president decided to do this. It was regime change for a while, and then it was not regime change. And then the president is now saying, well, actually, there has been regime change because there's new people sitting in the seats because the old ones were killed off, and that there are people who can be dealt with and they seem much more reasonable. Their agenda is still, like death to America, is still kind of in their founding documents. So unclear how much of a regime change. It's still a very repressive regime which is in control and suppressing the vast majority of the population. It's unclear what the metrics really are for success. I mean, right now it seems to be the Strait of Hormuz, and getting it open. The Strait of Hormuz was open before, and Iran wasn't in control of it. Yes. And the nuclear program, which the president said he obliterated the facilities several months ago in a really massive attack that the U.S. did, and attacked any reporters who questioned whether it really was obliterated, suddenly said that there was a nuclear threat and we had to act right now. And then no one's unclear what's going to happen with the nuclear program. And any kind of deal on that, I mean, the Obama deal that was done in 2015, it took 15 months of actual negotiations. It took years of planning. The president ripped that one up. And it's unclear, are they going to actually go through and actually sit at a table for months to actually plan out a nuclear deal, which seems to be according to every expert I've talked to, essentially there's a lot of details you got to work out. You can't just kind of do it on the fly on a golf course.
So it feels a little different.
It feels a little different, yeah, it does. It feels a little different.
I mean, I feel for the military did their job. They train,
incredibly.
They know what they're doing.
Yes.
They serve at the command of the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States. They deserve to know what the goals are here.
Yes.
And the president's actually said, you speak of fog of war, the president's already said that we've won several times.
Right, yes, he has.
They've won, so technically this is the fog of peace.
Yes. But it's also interesting, I mean, you use the term war. This administration says this is not a war, and yet they insisted on renaming the Department of Defense the Department of War. Secretary Samuel Jackson calls himself the Secretary of War. And yet they attack reporters who say that this is a war. Yes. So it's an excursion, as the president says, which I'm not sure if he actually means incursion, but I don't know.
The president said today he truthed, and you'll probably have some follow-up for this. He put out on his social media that there's a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon.
Yes.
Saying the two countries would, quote, take care of Hezbollah.
Yeah.
I promise I'm not being pedantic when I say if Lebanon was not at war with Israel, but instead Israel was at war with Hezbollah, is it a war? Like, what does the ceasefire mean if Lebanon was not part of this war?
According to this, the Lebanese government is going to try to make sure that Hezbollah does not continue aggressive military actions.
So in partnership with Israel, they'll actually help clear out Hezbollah?
Well, not necessarily. They will just get Hezbollah to stop firing rockets into Israel. That would be the ideal. In past, Hezbollah has agreed to ceasefires that have been negotiated by the Lebanese government, even though the Lebanese government doesn't control. I mean, Hezbollah, it's arguably they have a bigger military force than the Lebanese government actually.
The nice thing about the Middle East is that it's so simple.
It's very simple. It's very easy. Yes.
As you stated, the Iranian regime is a repressive regime.
Yeah,
The people of Iran would benefit from
thousands of people.
Exactly. Have you ever reported from Iran?
I've reported once from Iran. I started out. I couldn't get like a job at a network when I was at a college. So I got my first job was at a thing called Channel One. It was a TV show. Okay, all right, a couple of Channel Oneers. It was a TV show in the early 90s in about half the high schools and middle schools in America. And it was this company that supplied a television for every classroom, satellite dish, beamed them this program for free. It was a 12-minute newscast in schools. And I was a fact checker for them. And I was like, for 6 months, I was like, I can do what the people they had on air doing. But they wouldn't give me a job. So I quit. And I just told them I'm going to go to wars and I'm going to borrow a camera and I'm just going to start telling stories. That's what I did. And the first one was like in Myanmar and then Somalia in a famine. And they hired me as a war correspondent. And that's what I did for 3 years. I ended up in Iran with two folks from Channel One, two producers.
About what year are we talking here?
This would have been like 94. Andy Merlis and Mitchell Koss I was with. And we get there and we were arrested on the first day. And we were there for 4 days. We were arrested for 3 of them. And yeah, it freaked me out. I was.
And that's it. You haven't been back.
What's funny is like, I work for a major news organization now. So if something happens to me, at least theoretically, there's somebody I can call who may be able to try to help get me out. At Channel One, it was like there was no one to call.
Yes.
There was.
The principal could sign you a note.
Right. Yeah.
We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Anderson Cooper, everybody.